वल्लभा गिरिवरदा यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनतीरावनचारी यमुनतीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा मदन मोहन राधा मदन मोहन राधे। जय जगन्नाथ जगन्नाथ बलदेवा जय सुभद्रमाई। जय गौरनिताय 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 जय गौरनिताय। जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 प्रभुपाद। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तनम की, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयामुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। Hare Krishna. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, chapter 23, text number 38. वैचित्रवीर्याभिहितं महन्महात्म्यसूचकम् अस्मिन् कृतम् अतिमर्त्यन् पार्थवीं गतिम् आप्नुयात्। वैचित्र्यवीर्याभिहितं महन्महात्म्यसूचकम् अस्मिन् कृतम् अतिमर्त्यम् पार्थवीं गतिमाप्नुयात्। वैचित्रवीर्याभिहितं महन्महात्म्यसूचकम् अस्मिन् कृतम् अतिमर्त्यम् पार्थवीं गतिमाप्नुयात्। पार्थवीं गतिमाप्नुयात्। Mata is going. What word meaning? Vaichitravirya, O son of Vichitravirya, Vidura. Abhihitam explained. Mahat, great. Mahatnya, greatness. Suchakam, awakening. Asmin, this. Kritam, performed. Atimartyam, uncommon. Parthavim, in connection with Prithu Maharaj. Gatim, advancement, destination. Apnuyat, one should achieve. A translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. The great sage Maitreya continued, My dear Vidura, I have, as far as possible, spoken the narrations about Prithu Maharaj, which enrich one's devotional attitude. Whoever takes advantage of these benefits also goes back home, back to Godhead, like Maharaj Prithu. Purport. The word Shravayet mentioned in a previous verse indicates that one should not only read for himself but should also induce others to read and hear. This is called preaching. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recommended this practice. Yare dekha tare kaha Krishna Upades. Whomever you meet, simply talk with him about instructions given by Krishna or tell him narrations about Krishna. Prithu Maharaj's history of devotion service is as potent as narrations about the activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One should not make distinctions between the pastimes of the Lord and the activities of Prithu Maharaj. And whenever it is possible, a devotee should attempt to induce others to hear about Prithu Maharaj. One should not only read of pastimes for one's own benefit, but should induce others to read and hear about them also. In this way, everyone can be benefited. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुं मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांता स्वामिनिति नामिनि नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमा प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामिने गौरत्विषे नमः हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Please repeat the translation once. The great sage Maitreya continued, My dear Vidura, I have, as far as possible, spoken the narrations about Prithu Maharaj, which enrich one's devotional attitude. Whoever takes advantage of these benefits also goes back home back to Godhead like Maharaj Prithu. I seek blessings of all the assembled Vaishnavas, especially His Grace Anandmayi Prabhu, so that I can speak something in glorification of Supreme Lord, whatever I heard from my superior and spiritual master as a service to all Vaishnavas and as a for my own purification also. So one of the main point repeated in this is we should not just read for oneself, we should make others also read. I think this practice is there at least in Bhagavatam class. We are making others also repeat translation and sloka. Uh, so in that way, I thought we can follow this instruction once. So something similar, one of the sloka also comes in prayers of Kunti Maharani in uh, 1836. That shloka says, शृण्वन्ति गायन्ति गृणन्त्यभीक्ष्णसः स्मरन्ति नन्दन्ति तवेहितं जना तयेव पश्यन्ति अचिरेण तावकं भवप्रवाहो परमं पदाम्बुजम्. So the sloka says, O Krishna, those who continuously hear, chant, and repeat your transcendental activities or take pleasure in others doing so certainly see your lotus feet, which alone can stop the repetition of birth and death. So it is glorified, it is we should take pleasure in others also doing so. Not only we do, so that will help us achieve the coming close to Krishna. So here also this Maitreya Muni is saying that I am trying to glorify the Lord to the best of my capacity. It is not that it is full. Something similar also comes in Bhagavatam, Yadaditam Yatamati. It says, as the different birds fly at different heights in the sky, but the sky is the ultimate limit. Nobody can touch the sky. Similarly, the glories of the Supreme Lord is like sky. So we can, according to our capacity, we can try to glorify the Supreme Lord. Sometimes it is said our glorification of Supreme Lord is like a kind of insult to the Lord. It is like glorifying a Karodpati, going to him and saying that how nice you have 100 rupees. If you say like that, it is true also, but it is, it is a kind of minimizing his richness. He has 100 rupees, no doubt about it, but he has crores of rupees. But our understanding of him is only that, you are so wonderful, you have 100 rupees, if you say. Similarly, our approach, our glorification of Supreme Lord is actually, it is quite less. It is quite less. So, but still, Lord is so merciful that whatever glorification we offer, He accepts it very kindly and He reciprocates. So, once one devotee was asking, actually, in one of the class, Krishna likes to hear his own glorification, right? So, being part and parcel of us, if we also have the same propensity of hearing our own glorification, what is wrong? Everything comes from Krishna, right? Our nature is also something like similar to Krishna. So, Lord likes to hear his own glorification. So, he delights in hearing his glorification. What is the problem if we also have the same desire? So, at that time, this is long before actually asked to His Holiness Hare Krishna Goswami Maharaj. Yeah. So Maharaj answered actually, Lord's glories are unlimited. So whatever glorification we offer, it is quite less than what it is actually. So it is actually nothing to do, but in that way you can never completely glorify the Supreme Lord. But many of the times, whatever we hear about our own glorification, it is not at all true also. It is much, much more than what we are. And because of that, actually, we become proud. If we hear your own glorification, you become proud. But when you offer glorification to the Lord, actually, it is never, never sufficient only. It is much, much less than what it is actually. So, in that way, Lord will never become proud actually if you offer glorification also. But when you hear your own glorification, and there is a chance that actually that we get carried away by that. So Prahlad Maharaj also in one of the verse he says that it is glorification of Supreme Lord, it is for our own benefit. It is in text number 12. He says, so many people before Brahmaji, Shivji, and so many demigods, they come and offer glorification of Supreme Lord. So they could not pacify the Lord. At that time, Prahlad Maharaj was called, you glorify. So it's not that if they failed, I could be successful. I will not be also able to maybe sufficiently glorify the Supreme Lord, but still I will do it. Why? He says. तस्मादहं विगतविक्लवैश्वरस्य सर्वात्मना महि गृणामि यथा मनीषम् नीचो जया गुणविसर्गमनुप्रविष्टा पूयेन येन हि पुमान् अनुवर्णितेन. So he says, although I was born in a demonic family, I may, without a doubt, offer prayers to the Lord with full endeavor, as far as my intelligence allows. Anyone who has been forced by ignorance to enter into the material world may be purified of the material life if he offers prayers to the Lord and hears the Lord's glories. So, to the best of our capacity, to the best of our intelligence, when you glorify the Supreme Lord, what happens is we are so much caught up in ignorance. We will come out of the ignorance slowly and gradually. So, that is the greatest benefit of glorifying the Supreme Lord. It's the only and only way to come out of the entanglement of ignorance. The ignorance is the cause of all the problems in this world. Ignorance causes us to commit sins, and because of the sins, we are suffering. So, the only way by which we can come out of the ignorance is with full knowledge, full capacity, whatever understanding we have, we should completely offer glorification to the Supreme Lord. So, that is the only way actually we can come out of the ignorance. So here, Prabhupada is giving what is the definition of preaching. So Prabhupada is telling that one should not only read for himself, but should also induce others to read and hear. This is called preaching. So very simple definition of, straight definition of preaching. So in that way, actually, the book distribution, whatever we are trying to do, it is not only we are reading for ourselves, we are giving books to others and inspiring them to read. So in that way, it is a simple way of preaching. And Prabhupada called these books as Brihad Mridanga. We have Mridanga, this is small Mridanga, that is Brihad Mridanga. Brihad means very big Mridanga. So big Mridanga makes big sound, small Mridanga makes small sound. So big sound is heard in larger distances. In that way, by distributing books, we are making the Brihad Mridanga speak. Actually, the books are speaking to them in that way. And also here, Prabhupada is writing that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instruction, Jare Deko Tarikaha Krishna Upadesa. It is very, very powerful and profound instruction. in one sense. Actually, it is not something ordinary thing. Wherever you go, whomever you meet, you speak about Krishna. In that way, actually, no chance of prajalpa only in life. If there is only speaking about Krishna, whomever you meet, in that way, in our life, you have to become Krishna conscious only. There is no other way. What an amazing instruction Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave to everybody. So there is no question of anything to speak only. It is only we are will be completely Krishna conscious if you just practice this one instruction. Whomever you meet, you know, many times we hesitate to speak about Krishna, whomever you meet. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave this standing instruction. So in that way, if you are always speaking about Krishna, whomever you meet, the ultimate result is actually we feel the need to know more about Krishna. I am not having sufficient, knowledge about Krishna to speak. First of all, so I have to hear first of all. I have to relish first of all, so that I can also speak. So in that way, it always induces us to uh, take in and automatically give out. In that way, we also get benefited and others also get benefited. Hmm. Actually, I heard in those days, actually, His Holiness Sachinandan Maharaj, there is a system that whomever he calls or talks anything, first of all, he begins with, I want to share something about Krishna. First, he speaks something about what he is reading or hearing to others. And then he doesn't start conversation. Then he says, you also say something. You should also say something about Krishna, whatever you are hearing and reading, whatever you are relishing. Hmm? So in that way, the conversation happens, and in the end also again, he says something about Krishna and he hears something about Krishna and he sends. So if this is the practice, actually, if we follow also in our lives, so our relationships will be actually more Krishna centered, and we will really connect with each other. Otherwise, we are connecting with each other on very mundane and superficial basis. So our relationships will be very mundane, and our respect for each other also will increase to the degree we hear Krishna from other person. We see that he is not a mundane person. He is having so much spiritual insights, and he has deep practice, deep realizations. So automatically our respect increases towards the other person to the degree we hear Krishna, we hear about topics about Krishna from the other person. So this is one of the problem actually in the society nowadays. Everybody talks about all mundane talks about movies, politics, and no, all these things, cricket. So because of that, actually, we will not develop any respectful attitude towards the other person. So it is the very very powerful way, just by coming together and unofficially we should glorify Krishna. It's not that sometimes we have official way of glorifying, like sitting in the class and I am given some opportunity to speak, so I have to speak, you have to hear. That is it is a system is there, so I cannot escape, you cannot escape. So but it should be also practiced off the class also. So in that way our relationships will be very very deep. Actually, I remember during our stay in Brahmacharya Ashram in those days, you know, we used to discuss actually during prasadam times, and other times after the class is over, when we hear the class by some Maharaj or something, everybody used to make notes and sit in the circle during the prasadam, and what is the point you noted, what is the point I noted. So in that way, sometimes we miss some of the important points, and that points are caught by other devotees, so that it is so complete that by the end it is so nourishing experience. So in that way, devotees come very very close to each other, and their relationships are very very thick. So and we can see actually this is very much practiced by our acharyas, And we can see in the life of Prabhupada, actually, he always very eager to preach whoever he is actually. Maybe big person, small person, nothing to do. And we hear that past time that when Prabhupada went for printing Krishna book, at that time there is a one big meeting in Japan. So many people came and no, they put their visiting cards. And the meeting is over. At that time, in the end, one peon kind of person he came and he collected all the cards and everything winding up. And Prabhupada called him actually, and he wanted to preach. And he asked, "What is the goal of your life?" You know, he narrated very dramatically. He took all the cards and he piled up in a hierarchy, and he take out his own card and he kept below, and to say that I am the most least person in this hierarchy, and he took out his card and placed on the top. This is my goal of life. I want to become the head of this institution or whatever. So Prabhupada tried to preach him also, you know. So in that way, actually, Prabhupada did not left anybody. Maybe big person, small person, whoever is interested, you know, he wanted to preach. Yare deko tare kaho, Krishna Upadesa. And the same thing we can see in the life of His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur also. He also, you know, doesn't leave anybody. It is said once he used to, sometimes in the late in the night, he used to chant walking on the corridor. And the next to that, there is a wall of the mata, and behind that, somebody may be walking. You know, that person is not seen, but it is heard that somebody is walking. And he used to pick conversation with that person. Who is he? Who are you? He used to say. Then he used to say, he used to say, I am so and so, his name. So and so is the name of the body or the soul? He used to ask actually. And he got confused. Then he used to start preaching. You are not this body, spirit, soul, and everything. No? He used to preach to him. So actually, once it happened with His Grace Radhesham Prabhu also, somebody called actually, it wrong number. And he used to, he is about to keep the phone down. And he told, sorry, it is wrong number. He told, no, you called right number only. When you call me, it can never be wrong number. And he started preaching to him in phone only for some time. And after he got some knowledge, he kept it. So actually, that is the enthusiasm of a devotee actually. He never misses the opportunity to give Krishna to others in whatever way it is possible. So here it is said actually the glorification of the Supreme Lord and the devotees is equally powerful. That's what it is. Divyam, Bhagavad Gita says, Janma karma chame divyam evam yoveti tatvatah tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mamaiti so Arjuna. So it is Lord's activities are very, very glorious. And Prabhupada is giving one example. If you want to pump water into a tank, we require some motor and everything, right? So, but God is pumping water into the clouds from the ocean without using any motor. Is it not Adbhut? It is extraordinary. He is not just pumping as it is. He is pumping it purified water. And he is sending from place to place and distributing the water. So this is called achintya. Achintya means our mind cannot conceive how this can be done. This is achintya. So like that we can see some scientific inventions also. This is also achintya at our level. But if you see in the Lord's case, there are so many things are there achintya. In every aspect of life we can see how Lord created this universe. He created a cow. From front side you can feed grass and back side you can take milk. No scientist can make that kind of system. Somewhere I read one quotation. Any fool can tell how many seeds are there in one apple. Only God can tell how many apples are there in one seed. So God made this achintya system that in one apple seed, so many apples are there. In again one apple, again seeds are there in that. So many apples can come. So in that way, it is God's activities are achintya. So if you keep on thinking about it, actually, there is nothing in this world you have to become Krishna conscious. If you always wonder about the Lord's inconceivable activities. So, but Lord's inconceivable activities not only in terms of his own greatness, but Lord's qualities are achintya. Mm. Only Lord can exhibit such kind of uh, behavior. Like we can see Lord Ramachandra, in the case of Lord Ramachandra, we can see he is ready to even forgive Ravana also. So he is not only powerful, but he is forgiving also. So this is what is Lord's greatness. Lord's greatness is not just in terms of showing some kind of miracles, but his qualities are very, very divine. He has the capacity to forgive unlimitedly. So that's why he is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna said, Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami masucha. If you surrender unto me, I will forgive all your mistakes and sins immediately. That's why there is saying, God gives, and forgives. Man gets, and forgets. So that is the glory of God, and it is glory of living entity. So we can see in the case of the Supreme Lord, actually, not only the Lord and all the people who are associated with the Lord also exhibited so many glorious qualities. That it is the in Ramayana, if you see, the Vanavas is told to only Lord Ram, but even Lakshman voluntarily went without being asked actually. Many people in this world only fight for their privileges. When it comes to responsibility, people keep aside their responsibilities, rights and responsibilities. But if you see in the Ramayana, everybody is fighting for responsibilities, keeping aside their rights. They can say our right is to stay in the kingdom and be peaceful, right? It is not told to us or not entitled to us to go to forest. Mother Sita also went. Lakshmana also went. Even Bharata, it is his full right to stay back and rule. Even Lord Ramachandra only telling that you can stay back and rule, but he is also ready to keep aside his privileges, but he is more after responsibility, service. So these are achintya, which cannot be conceived in this world by an ordinary human being. So, and we can see in the Bhagavatam also, one of the instance come that Krishna delivered Putana, achintya. He saw Putana as mother, who came to give poison and kill Krishna. He could see something positive in her also. At least she came in the form of mother. So let us give the post of mother in spiritual world. Can it be conceivable? It is inconceivable actually. How can somebody can think like that? Only Lord only can think like that. That's why he is Supreme Lord. Generally, if it happens, somebody he will file a case, murder attempt, attempted murder, right? And we can see in the pastime of Sudama, Sudama came with some small morsel of chipped rice to give to Krishna. And what Krishna thought after receiving the gift of Sudama, Krishna thought actually Sudama gave something which is beyond his capacity. His capacity is not there to give me anything, but he went out of his way, collected from somewhere, and made some donation to me. But whatever I am going to give, it is not out of my capacity, it is within my capacity. So Krishna felt actually so, bashful that actually, so shy to give to Sudama. Hare, how is it equal? I am giving something much, much less than what Sudama is giving. So Krishna could not give anything in front to Sudama directly. So he sent Sudama, you go. So Krishna sent it after he went. So Krishna felt actually, so what I am contributing is much, much less than what Sudama is giving. So he felt very shy. So this is the consciousness of the Supreme Lord actually. So Lord reciprocates with the bhava. Generally, Sudama, if somebody gives us like that, one morsel of chipped rice, then we think it is some 5 rupees or something maybe. Okay, we can give 5 rupees donation. No, it is not like that actually. The way God thinks is much, much beyond our conception. It is achintya. The fruit vendor came and offered uh, some small fruits to Krishna. Uh, Actually, first Krishna gave only some few grains of, to that fruit vendor. But the fruit vendor gave much, much more than what Krishna offered. So, in reciprocation, Krishna filled the fruit vendor basket with unlimited jewels. So, and the beauty is the fruit vendor did not cared for it actually. She came back and offered much, much more fruits to Krishna. So, this is the very divine reciprocation which we can see in the case of the Lord actually. So, these kind of qualities cannot be exhibited in a mundane human being. Hmm. So, similarly, the qualities of the pure devotees, they also exhibit some very divine qualities which cannot be seen by any ordinary human being. We can see in the case of Pandavas, Arjuna, in the battle of Kurukshetra, he is ready to fight. If you see, whatever happened in the lives of Pandavas, it is very, very great injustice happened. That Draupadi was insulted, Bhima was killed, attempted to be killed in childhood, and they were attempted to burned alive in the Laksha Gruha, and their kingdom was stolen by in very improper means. So, if you see, the Pandavas are in a great mood to, you know, retaliate, but still they considered that actually why to fight. Even at that situation also, uh, they made a compromise. They want to make a compromise. Generally, nobody, if he is powerful, he will not try to make a compromise actually. If you are, and if you cannot retaliate, then we may go for compromise. But they have full capacity to retaliate actually, but still they are going for compromise. But still, they are not ready to give half of the kingdom, and they are in a mood to accept even 5 villages. There is no best proposal than this actually. In one sense, for Duryodhana, they are ready to settle for 5 villages. So see, can you imagine actually how much they are willing to bend in spite of not their mistake. It whole mistake is on the side of Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana, but these people are ready to bend down. Can you imagine? Is it ordinary thing? No? Still, Duryodhana is not willing. Then the war about to start. At that time, what happened? The Arjuna happened to see Bhishma and Drona first of all. Yeah. And after seeing them, his love and respect towards them is so much. He knows all these people are culprits. All Duryodhana and party. He is ready to forgive them also. Can you imagine? Huh? Generally it happens because you are also on that side. You should be also killed. That's what our mentality comes. But Arjuna's respect and love for Bhishma and Drona so much actually, he is considering, okay, let us leave these people, let us hand over the kingdom to them, and let us move aside, let them enjoy. They are fools, but we should not be foolish. Is it possible for any ordinary person to think like that? it it can be, it is inconceivable actually. We cannot comprehend how somebody can think like that also. And if you see, after the battle is over, and what Yudhishthira Maharaj is thinking actually, he was thinking, everything is happened because of me only, because of me so many people were killed, and no, because of my greed to become the king, this all happened actually. So many people had to counsel him. Vyasadeva had to come, Krishna counseled, nothing worked. Finally, when Bhishma Dev counseled, it happened. So you see actually how a person who is pure in their heart actually, who is very dear to Krishna, how they think. How they can think? It is very, very inconceivable. Hmm? Not only that, we can see Yudhishthira Maharaj is taking care of Dhritarashtra very nicely after that also. He made him the king and he made him sit on the, Simhasana and gave him the ruling power. So how anybody can think like this actually? This is inconceivable. This is inconceivable. And we can see like this, so many instances are there in Bhagavatam. Hmm? And Draupadi could forgive all the, Aswadhama who killed all the five sons. Thinking that he is the son of our Guru, what will the mother of Aswadhama feel? I have the pain of losing my children, and I should not see that she also should undergo the same pain. This is inconceivable actually. These are the Janma Karma Chame Divyam. These are the not ordinary activities of any mundane personality. Only the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his pure devotees only can act like this. So like this, actually, we can see recently only this Narsimha Chaturdasi happened actually. What is the consciousness of Prahlad Maharaj actually? When Lord came and asked for blessings, and what he asked? He asked actually, my father, out of some ignorance, he developed enmity towards you. So my request is actually, please grant him liberation. And even more height is that actually he asked, actually there are so many foolish fellows are there in this world. They don't want to go back to Godhead. I want to stay in this material world till everybody goes back to Godhead. how how can a person can think like this actually? So these are the achintya, inconceivable qualities of a devotee. And there are so many examples can be quoted. Ambarish Maharaj and Durvas Muni actually. Ambarish Maharaj is feeling guilty that because of me, Durvas Muni is suffering. Because I broken the fast, prematurely, and because of that, Lord took offense, towards Durvas Muni, and he sent Sudarshan Chakra, and because of that, he is wandering whole the universe, and his meal is delayed for 1 year. Durvas Muni's meal because of my, wrong activity. So it is very, very inconceivable actually how a devotee can think in this way. So what actually Bhagavatam is saying, actually we have to hear about qualities of Lord and devotees like this actually. Then it also induces us also to act in a better way than whatever we are exhibiting now. So how a devotee develops these qualities? Because of his close connection with the Supreme Lord. Just like Prabhupada says, a iron rod comes in contact with fire, exhibits the same qualities. It also becomes fiery. It also, when you touch it, it also burns. Similarly, a living entity, by the process of pure devotion service, comes in contact with the Supreme Lord, imbibes the same divine qualities. That every day we sing, Praptasya Kalyana Gunarnavasya Vande Guru Shri Charanaravindam. A spiritual master, he is like a cloud who takes the ocean water and showers upon all of us actually. He brings out, he obtains all the auspicious qualities, Kalyana Guna, from the ocean of mercy, and he distributes mercy to all of us. In that way, a spiritual master is drawing all the oceanic transcendental qualities from the Supreme Lord. And also, Lord says in Bhagavad Gita, Yad Yad Vibhuti Matsattvam Srimad Urjitam Eva Taddat Eva Vagachatvam Mama Teja Amsha Sambhava. Whatever glorious things you are seeing in this world, it is nothing but a spark of my divine opulence. So whatever a devotee is exhibiting, the glorious qualities actually, it is all coming from the Supreme Lord. In that way, by hearing the pastimes of the Supreme Lord and the divine qualities of the pure devotee, we get the same benefit. So we can see in the life of Srila Prabhupada, so his attempt to go to foreign countries in that advanced age, try to live among the hippies and try to preach, these are all inconceivable things actually. Even now also, how a person can able to do it, it always keeps us, it is a perpetual puzzle kind of thing for all of us. So in that way, everybody is trying to know something wonderful things, wonderful news from the so-called outside world. Actually, what is happening in this world? People are trying to collect some data and get some kind of happiness. Huh? But there are much more amazing things are there in the Shastras, and if you observe the qualities of devotees, that is even more mesmerize a person, and it can hook our consciousness to Krishna, and it can purify our heart and help us to exhibit even better behavior and qualities. So, in that way, it is Prabhupada is telling we should not only relish the glorious qualities of the Supreme Lord, actually, we should help others also in doing so. So, these are some few thoughts on this purport. Thank you all very much. Please forgive me if I speak anything beyond my realization. Hare Krishna. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. His Grace Anandmay Prabhu, anything you want to add? Thank you very much.